You just wrecked.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Monday. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Obviously, Bitcoin had a little bit of a tumble, right? 2.5%, 3%, whatever it was. Nothing really too major in the grand scheme of things. I think if you're into cryptocurrency right now, you're pretty used to these types of movements. However, we do know that when Bitcoin falls, well, it kind of drags everything down with it. Now, before we get on, I just want to remind everyone we are doing the Ledger Nano S giveaway all week. So all you have to do is basically just drop a comment on any of the videos. And then next week, we will pick a random winner. And also to the person that asked yesterday, these are factory sealed. As you can see right there, you know, it's still in the shrink wrap. Don't worry, guys. I would never give you some second rate, hardware wallet, because there were some people that were actually selling ones on eBay and stuff like that, they had tampered with them. So don't worry about that. We're all legit on this channel. Now, having a look at what's going on in the markets, we have a few gainers today, not too many. MOAC, Ravencoin, Loom, Cubitica, Stasis, Odom, and then we're basically going back into stablecoin territory. You do notice, though, that the Bitcoin dominance is up, so that's something to just point out. Bitcoin currently sitting around $3,768, $127 Ethereum, and 30-cent XRP. Now, having a look at what's going on right now, I guess we can get rid of this right here because, like we said yesterday, we knew that there was going to be a move, and I was pretty much saying it was most likely going to be to the downside, and it was to the downside. So we pretty much had confirmation on that. So I'm going to get rid of this line. Now, I was saying that we could have came down here to this 3,650, although now that I look at it again, if you go sort of off of this wick, you could see that we pretty much stopped right there. But inevitably, we were expecting a move. Now, I want to zoom out a little bit because we do have 2 points of contact, right? So we have a trend line, but it's not confirmed right now. The confirmation would occur if this was to touch this line one more time. So I do have my eyes on that. And if that's the case, assuming we were to plummet immediately down, that would bring us to around $3,520. But also, I want to just show you the bigger picture. And this is why some people are a little, I would say, concerned or somewhat worried, is because, as you guys remember, when we had these that were forming right here, we had thought that this was the bottom when we had hit this low of $5,828, and we kind of, jumped around in the $6,000 range, and as we got right to the end of it, we were like, yes, this is the breakout moment, and we fell and fell and fell all the way down to our current low of 31, it's 31 something, right? Now, the question is, are we going to repeat this again as we get closer and closer to the close of the wedge? What are we going to do? Are we going to go down or are we going to go up? Now, I've seen some really scary images floating around like this on Reddit, and some people have overlapped the Wall Street cheat sheet infographic with the actual current market. And as you can see right here, they're like, oh no, maybe we're only just here. Oh my goodness, that would be crazy, right? Now, I don't think we're going to drop that low. I think that's insane. Is it possible? I mean, anything is possible. I don't think it's likely. I think it's very unlikely that we're going to go that low personally. Although, someone who would love to see us go that low is our good old buddy Warren Buffett, who now has said Bitcoin has no real value at all. It doesn't produce anything. You could stare at it all day and no little Bitcoins come out. It is a delusion, basically. But, that's coming from the guy that looks like Carl from, the movie Up. So, yeah. Moving on, though, the one thing that I do want to talk about, I don't know, is that, we have seen a lot of altcoins rallying lately. So people are saying, is this like altcoin season? Well, it kind of has been. As you can see, 14 top cryptocurrencies are up over 40% in the last month. This is from Longhash, and you can even see some confirmation here in the percentage of total market capitalization. So right now, a lot of people were saying, should I be holding Bitcoin? Should I be holding, an altcoin? Well, I mean, it depends on what altcoin, it's not that black and white, but clearly some altcoins have been outperforming. And as you can see, even when Ethereum was down here having its big run, you also had Bitcoin losing its dominance. So we do see this kind of seesaw inverse pattern, right? So now that we are trending up a little bit, you're noticing that those profits are being taken from the altcoins, which is why, Bitcoin's down 2%, your altcoin's down 5 to 6%, right? Or maybe more. And that's going back into Bitcoin. So it's a seesaw. It happens. You're going to get used to this after a while. Trust me, if you've been in crypto long enough. Now, I want to talk about this poll that we had on the video yesterday, and it was, do you think Bitcoin could hit $102,000, which we said isn't that unrealistic for Bitcoin to 100x. Even if Bitcoin was to 100x, it would still be less than the market cap of gold, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. So I was surprised that only 37 people answered this, which is crazy. Usually it's like a few hundred. Maybe you guys didn't notice it, but 89%, which accounts for 33 people, said, yeah, we're going to go higher. 3% no way. And 2% not sure. By the way, guys, I do these polls in the videos. I don't always say that I'm doing them, but for example, like I would ask you something like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, right? And then there'd be a poll, and then you can click it. So it's just a cool way to like interact with the video and stuff. I guess yesterday you guys missed that. So anyway, I also want to talk about Larry King. He had understanding blockchain as a topic, and yeah, as you can see right here. I'll just show you like the intro for 5 seconds. You could see it was a whole show on, blockchain and stuff like that. So check this out.
And blockchain. The buzzwords are Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain. They seem to be everywhere. What do they mean? And how do they relate to the real world? To explain, I'm joined by Larry.
So I'm not going to play this, but if you guys want, he did a whole episode on it. He had some credible people on there, and it's definitely cool because, Larry King's like he's an OG, man. I mean, I remember that guy on TV when I was like a toddler, like my parents would be watching him and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, he definitely has that audience, and he's, it's good to just see that getting out as well. Now, something interesting that I wanted to bring up was you had Kroger saying that its Smith's Food and drug stores are no longer going to accept Visa credit cards starting April 3rd, right? Now, obviously, they say that Smith's operates 134 stores across 7 states and has 20,000 employees. And they say that Visa has been misusing its position and charging retailers excessive fees for a long time. And you can actually see over here, this did come out. This is in Reuters, and it says that Visa and MasterCard, the biggest U.S. card networks, are preparing to raise certain fees levied on U.S. merchants for processing transactions from this April, right? So, Anthony Pompliano obviously took the opportunity to jump on this, and he says grocery store Kroger is stopping acceptance of Visa in over 250 stores. Who knows someone on the leadership team? The Morgan Creek digital team will fly to meet them and get them hooked up with the Lightning Network nationwide, to which he actually got a response that said, hey, Pomp, I'm a product manager at Kroger Digital, can confirm that Yale is the correct person to discuss this with. I would love to set up a conversation. He said, DM me, let's do it. And then he said, let's make it happen. DM inbound. And yes, I agree with you, Buddy Loveless. Twitter is the best. So that is some pretty cool news. Some people were freaking out about that, like somebody actually responded, right? So that's some pretty awesome stuff. Now, I also want to talk about this survey that came out from KMPG. They asked 740 global leaders in the technology industry about new tech innovations, disruptors, and challenges. This year, the blockchain technology was the key focus, and this is what they had to say. So 41% said that they're very likely to implement blockchain technology in the coming 3 years. 31% was neutral, and 28% said they're probably not likely to, but 48% of the surveyed companies believe that blockchain will change the way their company does business in the next coming 3 years. So some of the areas that they think would be that it would have the biggest impact on include IoT processes such as tracking software, product refills, warranties, trading, platforms for small businesses, reduce cyber risk, and contracts as well, such as payments, insurances, etc. But the main challenge standing in the way of implementing blockchain technology was the lack of proven business cases, right? Additionally, the complexity of implementing the technology was also considered a big issue. But we're seeing a lot of projects coming out right now that are at the forefront of interoperability, and they're out there helping these guys to integrate their systems into other, to be able to use blockchain, essentially, right? There's so many projects out there. I mean, I could name them all, but it's a lot, right? So that is really awesome. Now, I wanted to talk about what Jesse Powell said. Now, we were talking yesterday about the delete Coinbase thing, right? So he says that he asked his compliance team what they thought of Neutrino. Fortunately, they just completed an evaluation. Neutrino came in last place on product out of the 5, but was disqualified anyway due to the risks. However, other factors are important in M&A, cost, culture fit, right? So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of adding more insult to injury as well. But, speaking of selling users' data, right, let's talk a little bit more about this Facebook thing, right? So, it says that the new coin would leverage the built-in connections of WhatsApp's more than 1.5 billion users and potentially the billions of users themselves on Facebook. Now, I would argue that not all of these are active. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I looked at my Facebook. But anyway, that alone would make it an instant competitor to things like Venmo and PayPal, right? And also we have WeChat Pay. But the thing is that none of these other competitors are using blockchain. So what would be the purpose? Why would they even want to use it anyway? So they're saying that maybe their stablecoin could lay the groundwork for some other more exploratory uses of blockchain. And last week in a discussion at Harvard Law School, Mark Zuckerberg actually said one possibility, a decentralized version of Facebook Connect. Facebook Connect. I don't think you should use Connect in anything. BitConnect, guys, anybody? Okay. So whereas users and not Facebook would control their own credentials and choose when to share them, but as with most things in crypto, the idea so far has fallen short of how companies like Facebook actually operate. He says, I haven't figured out a way to make this work. However, somebody who doesn't think that this is going to work is Mike Ramanov. He is the CEO of London-based DSX. Now, they are a securities exchange, and he says that Mark Zuckerberg can't replicate the success of Bitcoin because it cannot replicate the unique structure of the original crypto. He says, contrary to popular opinion, it's Facebook that will fail where Bitcoin has prevailed. Bitcoin is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, creating a grassroots movement driven by individuals. He suggested that regulators might be looking to shut down Facebook's project before it even gets off the ground. He says the regulators cannot regulate Bitcoin because there's nowhere to go, but regulators know how to access Facebook, right? He says there's a good argument that says they don't even need one in reference to the coin itself. It would be better to mirror WeChat's approach in China by giving users access to P2P payments through their app similar to PayPal. However, only time will tell, but Facebook can't launch a cryptocurrency in the regulators' backyards without being thrown out. And this is according to what he had to say. Now, I want to talk about some coin news, kind of keep it fast today. It's Monday. We're going to kind of keep it going today. So if you guys want to get some free Dogecoin, yes, that's right. You can get some from Side Shift over here. So basically, they got the Doge song playing right now. Where is it? All right, so anyway, yeah, I know, crazy, right? So basically, you're going to double your Doge. Well, all right, they're limiting it to a very small amount. As you can see right here, I think it's only... $20 worth. But if you want to get $20, potentially up to $20 worth of Doge, you can come over here and turn one Doge into two Doge. So there you go. I'll drop a link for that below. Another thing too, I wanted to talk about really some quick Ethereum news. I know the hard fork was successful. We haven't really covered it too much on the channel, but the one thing we could talk about is that average block times in Ethereum have actually dropped to their lowest level ever at just 12.5 seconds, down from 21 seconds per block. So as you can see right here, when hash rate falls, blocks are generally more difficult to find as there are less miners working at the same difficulty level until that adjusts by the block in ETH. Also, when hash rises, the useless math calculations are easier to solve because difficulty has not yet increased to account for the increased mining power. After a few blocks, it then adjusts. So, in summary, the faster block times have slightly increased daily news supply, which fell to 12,800 ETH after the fork, but has now jumped up to 13,600. Also, another coin that we have been talking about because everyone has had their eyes on it due to the massive surge lately is Enjin. It looks like they have recently partnered with Unity Technologies, and they said that they're going to be launching their testnet version of the blockchain SDK, software developer kit, for Unity just in time for the world's largest gaming industry event, GDC. Now, as you can see down here, basically the SDK will enable game and app developers to create and integrate next-generation ERC 1155 blockchain assets into their games and manage their distributions with ease. So basically, these are sort of a more evolved version of the ERC 721. Multi-token standard, as you can see right here, ERC 1155s enable developers to create unlimited fungible and non-fungible assets with a single smart contract, resulting in faster transaction times, significantly lowering gas fees, and the ability to mass produce tokens with minimal effort. And you have to think about this. This also is convenient if you're playing in a game and you want to have a lot of things happening at once. You don't want to, keep paying all these gas fees, and it just honestly would clog up the network. So yeah, that's really good news coming out of that as well. Now, we also have SolveCare, which is a global healthcare IT company that's developed a blockchain platform for coordination, administration, and payments of healthcare. So they're saying that they've integrated with Lyft, like the Uber competitor. Now, I don't think this is a full-on partnership. I think this is just the fact that they integrated into their Care wallet. So basically, you'll be able to schedule Lyft rides to the doctor's office, hospitals, pharmacies, whatever, using this, and patients can automatically pay for the ride with their Care wallet. So I guess this is good news, right? I mean, sure, we'll take it. So moving on, I want to talk about this Quadriga situation because we still have more news coming out of this. So we have Ernst & Young, and you know that they're the big auditor that is tasked as the monitor of QuadrigaCX. So they found 6 cold wallets of the exchange that were used to store Bitcoin. 5 out of 6 of them didn't contain any Bitcoin since April, and the 6th was used to transfer funds to the hot wallet of QuadrigaCX. So where's the missing $150 million? Last week, an independent cryptocurrency researcher, James Edwards, claimed that he has found the trails of the Ethereum holdings of QuadrigaCX. The report curated by Edwards said that nearly 90 million in user funds held by QuadrigaCX were moved to cryptocurrency exchanges like Bitfinex and Poloniex, possibly through the utilization of dummy accounts. Now, I wanted to also point out over here, so you have this guy, Tong Zhu, he's a programmer, and he lost more than 422,000 in his life savings in the QuadrigaCX fiasco. And you could see right here, he made a video about it. I'll play a little excerpt of it. You could see.
After that, it was ready too late to get out because they already put crypto withdrawal limits on the account. You can only withdraw 50K a month. So I withdrew as much crypto as I could. And I still had a bunch stuck in there, but I withdrew as much as I could. Most of my money was stuck in the completed withdrawal phase, which, I don't know why they called it completed because I never got my deposit. But they called it completed, and it was stuck in there, and there's no way I could cancel it. I emailed them, support or anything. No one responded. Couldn't cancel it. And, before that time, they were posting updates every day. And before that, I also inquired about my withdrawal, and they kept lying to us. They kept telling me, yeah, you'll get it within 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a CIBC lawsuit issue. Yeah, we're having problems depositing to this bank or this bank right now. The funds are frozen and stuff like that.
So you guys could watch the rest of that video. It's really unfortunate. And this is the thing, you had some people saying, well, maybe they were having liquidity issues. Okay, maybe they were. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things that still don't add up on this, guys. So we'll definitely keep looking at that as time moves forward. Now, let's talk about some regulation. Let's talk about what's going on with all these different countries and how they're getting involved in crypto. Well, you now have Sonacrypt, the main regulator of all crypto activities in Venezuela, announced the launch of the service on its Patria platform last week. According to its website, they say the cryptocurrencies that can be used to send remittances are Bitcoin and Litecoin. So there you go. Now you can send remittances using Bitcoin and Litecoin. Now, once the cryptocurrency transaction is confirmed, the funds will be available on the platform in sovereign bolivars. And they say the system will allow users to receive a maximum of cryptocurrency equivalent to 10 petros per month in bolivars. However, with specific approval by Sonacrypt, the recipient can receive up to the equivalent of euros of 50 petros, which I don't think that's really that much, to be honest, but that's what's going on over there. Now, another country that has definitely been in here for quite some time, we've been talking about it, was, India. According to the Reserve Bank of India, they basically said that local banks had, they had to basically disallow dealings with crypto businesses and Bitcoin exchanges, right? So Bitcoin investors have lost access to fiat-enabled exchanges and have resorted to peer-to-peer exchanges to convert cryptocurrencies. And you can prove this right here by just coming over to CoinDance. And if we have a look, you could see above my head right here how much volume has increased over time. Obviously, there was massive volume right here on this day, but it has been, it's a general slope upward. So you could see that this is the thing, you're not going to stop people, all these regulations, you're not going to stop people from using cryptocurrency. So you might as well figure out a way to just kind of regulate it, or, I mean, you know, I know the US would love to tax it, right? But just outright banning it, it's not going to work, guys. So anyway, but getting back to the positives of the story, it says a recent decision of the government of Bahrain to encourage cryptocurrency firms in India to come into the country and operate their businesses with proper resources could pressure India to potentially legalize and open its cryptocurrency market in the future. Now, where have we seen this before? South Korea, right? So scrolling down here, you could see that South Korea had recently become a cryptocurrency and blockchain powerhouse, but they were skeptical. So the country ended up legalizing the asset class to protect investors and to prevent companies from moving out of the country to other markets like Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And that was even what we were seeing in the US, right? Some of these laws and some of these restrictions were just so tough that these guys were like, screw this, we're just going to go set up our operations somewhere else, right? You know, we're going to go to Costa Rica, we're going to go to the Cayman Islands, we're going to go to Malta, we're going to go to Switzerland, we're going to go really anywhere, right? So that was definitely something that we were seeing. So like I said, you should definitely start taking stances like some of these states. For example, Utah has become the latest state to consider special treatment for blockchain in a bill set to be heard today, actually. So the bill defines and clarifies terms related to blockchain technology and exempts a person who facilitates the creation, exchange, or sale of a certain blockchain technology related product from Title 7, Chapter 25 of the Money Transmitter Act. You can look that up if you're interested about specifically what that is. In addition to altering the law regarding blockchain firms, they also wish to create a dedicated task force focusing on the technology, including administering pilot projects, which could report back to the government before the end of the year. So, should it gain traction, the bill would take Utah over to the more progressive side of the U.S. local regulatory treatment of cryptocurrency issues, similar to the stance recently adopted by Wyoming, where we all know our good old buddies at Cardano have moved some of their operations, right? Clearly a lot more friendly than New York, where I'm still censored in like everything. But anyway, moving on. And when, I wanted to end on this note. I always like to bring up this, it's a good topic and it's always something that we need to talk about. There's always people fighting in crypto. It's not just project to project. You see people fighting within projects, right? Originally, you had fighting in Bitcoin, and then they forked off to Bitcoin Cash, and then there was fighting inside of Bitcoin Cash. So then they forked off to Bitcoin SV. Right? And then Ethereum, even recently with Afri Shodan, you've had some issues going on with that. So Taylor Monahan, she kind of like came out and gave her opinion on this. She's the CEO of MyCrypto, by the way. It's like the MyEther wallet competitor. I actually personally like MyCrypto better. I'm not going to lie. I find the user experience just a little bit better. For me, when I use my ledger. But anyway, that's a side note. So, she goes on to talk about the tribalism. And the one thing I just want to end on, she goes, if we get so caught up in hurting each other and breaking each other down and fighting within our little chains, it's not going to help cryptocurrency as a whole progress. One of the reasons I was originally attracted to Ethereum was because I never found a place in Bitcoin. I thought it was very dramatic and political, and Ethereum was the exact opposite. It was very welcoming, very developer focused. It was focused on building things and being optimistic and idealistic, obviously. But as Ethereum has grown, the original community feeling gets lost and the toxicity does become a bigger part. The toxicity, the politics, all of those things. All right, so this is just something that I also bring up. It's the space is so small. It really isn't. It doesn't help to bring people down. Instead we should be working together, even collaborating on projects. Right, having projects work together to create even better things. So in terms of solutions, he says, I think it's hard. How do you make people be nice on the internet? Most people won't answer that, and you can't. It doesn't work like that. But I think everyone needs to be more mindful of what we're trying to accomplish and focus on the big picture. Us versus the world versus centralized banks, us versus the government, rather than half of Ethereum versus half of Ethereum, or, Roger Ver versus everyone, right? So I just really thought that was a good thing to kind of end on. It's very positive, and there's obviously Craig Wright down here. But yeah, and actually I lied. This is actually what I was going to end on, because this is like, I don't know, you spend enough time on these forums, and eventually you always come across like one or two really just totally crazy posts. And this person says, first of all, I'm not from the future, but I think I visited it. Seriously, just I was practicing remote viewing and opening consciousness and noticed the price of a coffee cost like 20k satoshis. I can't recall what the store looked like, to be honest. I didn't even feel like I was in my own home. I was somewhere else. I'm inexperienced in remote viewing. I just saw the place and a chalkboard with an item name and a woman in front of it that brought me a coffee or maybe a smoothie, and I saw she paid 20k satoshis for it. What would the price of Bitcoin be if someone could potentially translate that over? I'm sorry, I don't have more info. I also remembered the floor was wooden and the lady had brown hair. I learned about remote viewing through the FBI and CIA. Blame them for this crazy thing. And this guy says, where do you buy your shrooms from? No drugs, I swear. Yeah, so that was remote viewing, I guess. So there you guys go. And guys, I just wanted to say before we go, usually I end on, hey, check out this or check out that. Do you guys remember The Adventures of Pete and Pete? Does anybody in the US remember growing up and watching this show on Nickelodeon? Anybody at all? Well, basically, I wanted to let you guys know that I, for a change, am the one promoting adoption, and I actually had the opportunity to meet these guys on their comedy tour, and I took a picture with them, and yes, I was wearing my Bitcoin t-shirt. Or hoodie, as you can see right here. So, that being said, today I'm pushing the adoption. I got to have a conversation with Danny and Mike about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and there you are. So, guys, if you haven't had a chance to download the Brave browser yet and you're looking for an ad-free experience, obviously you can use the links below, and you get $5 in basic attention tokens. And yeah, so that's that. And I also wanted to remind everybody that we are doing a giveaway for a Denarium physical Bitcoin wallet. It's this custom cold-plated wallet you can see right here. And that's over at the Blockchain Brief. And we're also doing a promotion as well for $55 for a full-time for an annual subscription. Obviously that's 12 of the newsletter for $55. That's like ridiculously cheap, guys. So you can definitely hop over there, and here you guys can see right here, here's the physical Bitcoin giveaway. So you could scan this code if you want. If you guys want, you could just scan that, or you could just click there and then it'll take you back to the giveaway if you guys want to get involved in that. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm giving away the Ledger, and if you guys don't feel like waiting, you can use my link to purchase a Ledger Nano X. It does help the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing, but I don't require any of that of you. Honestly, just having you guys on the channel every single day is more than enough for me. I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much for everyone that keeps liking, subscribing, commenting. If you haven't turned on the bell notification, definitely check that out. I remember some people were saying that YouTube turned it off on them or something like that. So yeah, that being said, guys, it's freaking Monday. Let's get it. Let's have a look at what's going on with Bitcoin right now. Not too much. We're just chilling out. So I will see you tomorrow, which is Tuesday. And that is it for me, guys. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.